KCJJ weather. Brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply, kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
It's time for the Hawk Fanatic segment on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Brought to you by Deary Brothers Ford, Hawkeye Title and Settlement, Mike's E-Keys for Cars, Tavern Blue on the Coralville Strip, Supple's Building and Remodeling, 800 Rose and Hawkeye Courier, the Midtown Family Restaurants, Harty and Stocker Jewelers, Diamond Dream Sports Academy, Premier Automotive, the Ox Yoke Inn in the Amanas, Streets Maintenance, Dr. Lance Forbes and Diamond Dental in Cedar Rapids, and Big Dog Tech Solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Suter and Pat Harty. Good morning, boys.
Morning, Jim. How are you?
How's it going?
Pretty good.
Good.
The sun is shining beautifully.
And he's sitting out on the porch with a parka today?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay.
Yeah. So we're going to have a field hockey player calling in at 9:35.
Okay.
It'll be J.C. Whittle, and we'll get her perspective. And field hockey is such an interesting game.
It is.
And it is non-freaking stop action.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very impressive off the field hockey field, too. I mean, she's very accomplished academically. My guess is that's part of the reason they're having her on, represent like I said, she's ISAAC Vice President, UI Student Government, Student Athlete Constituency Representative, which sounds important.
It does.
Two-time academic All-Big Ten, two-time National Field Hockey Division I National Academic Squad. So she's from Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, majoring in health studies and art. So, yeah, we look forward to talking to JC. I mean, about the season, which is just getting underway.
Yeah, what are they, 1-1 right now, I think? Because they lost to number 2, was it North Carolina?
North Carolina, yeah.
I think they're 1-1. I'll double check. Tommy, can you print out their schedule? We'll have Tommy print that. But yeah, she's supposed to be calling in at 9:35, and this is a continuation of what we're going to be doing each Wednesday. Sometimes, like next Monday, we have Macy Inking on, who is we've had her on before. She's the back-to-back goalkeeper of the week.
The soccer goalie?
Yeah, for the soccer goalie. And, we'll have her on next Monday. But normally these will be on Wednesdays. Soccer isn't available on Wednesdays, though, because they're practice schedules, so we'll have them. She's going to be on after we have Don Patterson. So it'll be an action-packed show on Monday.
Look forward to it.
So there you go. And I just found out Steve is out.
Steve is out. And then they got a bunch of medical stuff starting next week. So even after his COVID sitting on the sidelines period, Steve will be back then a week from today. So
shows are going to be a grind without him, aren't they? We'll have to somehow provide our own humor.
It is easier to drift when Steve is here. I will say that.
Yes.
And whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, it's up to the listener to decide.
From most of what I can tell, it's a good thing from the feedback I get. So, but hopefully, is he very sick?
No.
I swear, I think I had it a couple weeks ago. I had a runny nose, a little like scratchy throat, whatever. But it just that's what I think with someone who's boosted. I think that's what COVID is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, so I don't really worry.
And they got the new COVID booster out just now, like yesterday.
Yeah, because I know CVS has it, and I think Walgreens has it now.
Now, Steve should probably. I've been told that you're supposed to wait 3 months after having COVID before you get vaccinated again.
Didn't he get one last week?
I think he did.
I think he got one at Hy-Vee.
I think he did get one at Hy-Vee. So he should be fine.
Well, it just
it doesn't stop it.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
It does not prevent it. It just makes it to where you don't die.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good thing.
And I know some will say, well, blood clots, heart attacks, people dying. I don't buy any of that crap.
No,
I'm sure there's been some people that have had complications. That happens with vaccines. It happens with any type of vaccine. Yeah. But to act like people are just dropping dead all over, that's just, thank you. That's just
nonsense.
So, but hopefully he'll recover and be back. And
he'll be fine.
Yeah, and then we'll have Don again on Monday. So, yeah, Monday will be a big show. And today we'll just, hopefully JC can lift us to another level.
I don't know how she can do that.
I don't know. Yeah, so we'll see.
So, speaking of another level, last night, due to a couple of losses, the Indiana Fever have locked up playoff positions.
I saw that.
It's very exciting for them.
I saw that all over Twitter nonstop.
Yeah.
God, Twitter just the Caitlin stuff. It's just nonstop. I mean, there's people that have opened up accounts where the whole identity is Caitlin Clark. I mean, Twitter is so bizarre.
The Sabali player for who does she play? Is it the Sky? She might. But anyway, she came out and said. She said there are way too many Caitlin Clark fans. It's annoying.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It's not Caitlin's fault.
It's annoying.
No, but some are weird about it. I mean,
well, for sure.
Some are really weird about it. It's like it's their whole identity on social media. That's just bizarre. But that's people love to worship other people. I don't get it. Politicians, athletes, and the people that cry at the sight of Taylor Swift. That's freaking weird.
And they're the first people to tear them down too.
I just don't get why people are. I mean, I love my music. I mean, I love I'd love to meet Robert Plant, but I wouldn't like hyperventilate and cry and collapse. I mean, I just don't get why people are so easy to idolize other people. I've never understood that, especially athletes, entertainers, and politicians. If you want to worship a doctor, somebody who can save your life, if you want to be that corny about it.
Or a teacher.
Or a teacher, yes. Or I've just never understood the idol worship of politicians, athletes, and I've just never. That's just always been weird.
I don't know.
This just in, Captain will be in on Monday.
He will?
Yes.
Well, so...
What, he just send you that?
He did.
So he's getting...
He's listening.
Already wants back.
I thought he wanted to retire.
Yeah.
No, he would have been able to come back Monday. But
I thought he had stuff going on.
There was a procedure, but it's been postponed.
Okay.
Because of the COVID.
So there's no 5-day window anymore, or will that be 5 days?
No, it'll be 5 days. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Carl.
I was going to say, when I was out at the Guardian games in Cleveland,
yep,
I had an Iowa shirt on, and you don't know how many people would come up to me and ask me about Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Oh, that didn't surprise me.
They said, well, you're from Iowa. Do you know this and that? And I just let them know what I knew. But I was very surprised that the people from all over just would come up to you and say, oh, you're from Iowa. Do you know Caitlin Clark?
When we were on our Danube cruise, one of our servers, I think from Eastern Europe somewhere, and he came up and saw my Tiger Hawk logo and said, Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. You know Caitlin Clark? I said, well, I've met her. I can't honestly say I know her, but...
So I thought, well, that was kind of nice. And then it got to the point where every time you come in, they yell, hello, Hawkeye fans.
It's a phenomenon, and you can't, you can never predict these things, and it's, but it's something.
Yeah, it is. And I'm glad they made the playoffs. That's kind of nice.
That's great. That was their goal at the start, so I hope they keep playing as hard as they have been.
Yeah. Okay, well, you guys have a good day.
Thanks, Karen.
Thanks, Karen.
Bye.
All right, not one question about Iowa State.
No.
That shows you
or
how
the Cubs.
That shows you how popular Caitlin is.
There you go.
Well, this is a state that doesn't have a professional team, so
yeah.
I've never heard that before.
Well, it's true.
I know, but that's what we always heard from Hayden. Remember how Hayden used to, when they were trying to their sales pitch, you come here, you're the show. Yeah. And there is truth to that.
There is.
Hello.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Hey, have you seen or already talked about the Netflix thing on the Michigan cheating scandal?
No.
No.
Haven't talked about it, and in fact haven't seen.
And don't really care.
It's interesting to watch. I'm just curious. Essentially, the synopsis is, they were doing it all and doing it. They claim everybody does it.
I don't agree with
that.
That
doesn't make it right.
I'm curious if Coach Patterson thinks other teams do it to that level.
We've asked him that.
And then they're basically gleeful about it and saying F you to everybody. is the whole tenor of the show. They interview the guy, the Connor Stallions guy.
Yeah.
And he got the game ball against Iowa a couple of years ago for his work.
Yeah, Harbaugh claims he didn't know anything about it. I don't buy that. But Harbaugh's gone. He's not going to get punished. It's like,
and there's a reason Harbaugh left.
Yeah.
Also,
not just that, $10 million a year.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm sure that was part of it.
He got out ahead of the posse.
But he also had a great job waiting for him, so which he could have at any time, and he won a national title. I think.
Yes, he did.
But yeah, no, Kirk was asked about it, and Kirk's like, I don't care. He just basically shook it off like, I don't care. It's yesterday's news. We're not going to concern us. He basically just downplayed it. When he was asked if he had any reaction to Connor Stallions getting a game ball for the Iowa game, he just didn't. He didn't take the bait, and he just said, that's yesterday's. We're moving on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Interesting. Their arrogance was a little stunning, though.
Well, it shouldn't surprise you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Michigan. All right, thanks, guys.
I mean, the most fan bases are kind of made up the same way. You have your a-holes, and then you have your normal fans who are just pulling for their team, but that's...
and I'd say most fans are like that.
Yeah, I think so.
I'd say most fans are pretty mainstream and normal, but just because of social media, especially the people on the fringe are the ones you hear because they're the ones out. Just like with the Caitlin, most of the fans who like Caitlin Clark are normal about it. But the ones on Twitter who just, you see them because they go out of their way to make sure you see them, whereas normal fans who love Caitlin but who don't, worship her and use her as a reason to attack other people, those are the ones you see all the time because they're the ones that want to be seen, whereas normal fans, hey, I'm just living my life and I love watching Caitlin Clark play. That's normal.
It is, and I don't understand people wanting to use someone else's celebrity to push something.
That's what I don't get it. They do it with politics and everything. And the Cheryl Swoops thing is just, I'm so tired of that. Obviously, she's jealous of Caitlin Clark, and she doesn't know how to handle it. And the more she says, it seems like the more jealousy she unveils. And I just have moved on from her. I don't care. If Cheryl Swoops can't be objective about it and acknowledge her greatness, then I don't care about her opinion.
Yeah, and I think another thing that kind of chaps her ass is that her MVP stats are not as good. Her MVP year stats are not as good as Caitlin's rookie stats.
Yeah, and Caitlin won't win the MVP this year because Asia Wilson's stats are unbelievable.
They are.
I mean, my guess is I could see Caitlin in the top 3 in the voting.
Huh? Yeah.
But I think she's just running away.
Asia should get it.
She's running away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're not playing. I mean, they did win last.
They did. They beat.
I think they're 21-12 now, but they've had some issues. I saw Kate got in a little bit, and I watched Megan. I watched her. She took one. Of course, it was a 3-pointer where she had hardly any time to shoot it, and she almost made it. Didn't go in. How many points did she score? I didn't watch.
I don't have the box score, but but you're right about their record, 21-12.
Yeah, they. Megan doesn't get a lot of shots, and the shots she gets are not the shots she took in college. Again, I'm amazed at how but man, she hustles, she rebounds, she's a great teammate. But I did see Kate in a little bit.
She did.
I saw her, and this was actually in the second quarter, I believe. Didn't play long, but
and she got in towards the end also.
Okay, so yeah, she's no longer in their rotation.
No, it's just too bad. I wonder if that means she might not.
It'll be interesting to see if she can hang on. So, but the fact she made the roster to me was a major accomplishment. I didn't see it coming.
And I wouldn't be shocked if some other teams reach out and try to grab her.
Possibly, yeah. No, I could see that.
Because she is a good, solid player. She's not a star.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I was surprised how fast she rose, and I'm surprised how fast she's kind of sunk with the. She's gone from we love her off the bench. She's our glue, like she was at Iowa. Now she barely plays.
I know. I'm not sure why.
Now she hardly ever plays.
Played almost 12 minutes yesterday.
Okay, now that's the most minutes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's the most minutes she's played in a while. Did she score?
She just got a rebound, and then Megan got 8 points and 3 rebounds.
Okay, good.
In 22 minutes of play. Yeah,
Megan starts, and but it's just wild watching her play small forward.
So why didn't Kelsey Plum play? Do you have any idea?
I have no idea. No, I don't. That's probably why Kate played 12 minutes.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay, that explains. Yeah, I don't follow it that closely.
I didn't know if the announcer said anything when you were.
I didn't. The moment Kate and Megan were taken out of the game, I think I switched back to In the Heat of the Night. Or the Rockford Files, I can't remember. But no, it's cool seeing three former Hawkeyes in the WNBA, and I mean it's good for recruiting. But yeah, this last stretch is going to be interesting to see how well the Fever can finish. I mean, if they could make a run in the playoffs, boy, would that cement Caitlin's legend even more. And you can't overlook Kelsey Mitchell has been.
She's been terrific.
She's just a different type of player than Caitlin, but she's been every bit as valuable in some ways.
She has.
Because I mean, her ability to score. There's been times where Caitlin's struggling to get the ball in the basket. Kelsey kind of makes up for it, and she's also learning how to catch Caitlin's passes a lot better now.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, they're and I give Christy Sides credit. I know she's just been chastised. Fire. When's Bluter take over? Remember all that talk?
Yes.
Well, Lisa kind of put an end to that talk on this show.
Yes.
Because when she came on, that talk was just boiling, and she's like, "That's ridiculous. Why would I leave an awesome job for those head coaching jobs in the WNBA in the big scale? They're average jobs.
Yeah.
Compared to what other jobs you can get. I mean, she's going to take like an 80% pay cut and travel all over. I mean, it didn't make any sense.
No.
They had to move last night's game to a bigger arena too. And, for the Sky being there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they moved it to an 18,000 seat arena for last night's game.
Well, and Angel Reese again got her double-double.
Mm-hmm.
I saw one bitter comment from somebody, I think it was on Twitter. It said,
shocking you would say such a thing.
She said, did you ever hear anybody talk about Dennis Rodman grabbing all those rebounds and being the player of the year? No, you did not.
I've seen that argument. And, I get it. You don't want Angel player of the year. She's not going to be player. You mean rookie of the year?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's going on Twitter right now. I mean, just the Angel fans trying to find ways to pick at Caitlin's accomplishment. It's just nauseating. And unfortunately, it shows up on my timeline, even though every time I see one, I hit the thing not interested in this post, and they keep showing up on my timeline because I interact with the Indiana Fever stuff. All these Elon's algorithms or whatever. But, God, I don't want to see any of that stuff. No, I mean, Angel Reese is a great rebounder.
Oh, you can't take that away from her.
I mean, she's very good in a lot of ways. She is more like Dennis Rodman, and Caitlin's more like Magic Johnson, Steph Curry. I mean, you can't compare them. They're completely different players. Now, Angel is not a good shooter. I mean, and a lot of her offensive rebounds are shots she knows aren't going in. She runs right to the basket, grabs. I watched her get 4 offensive rebounds the other night, and she missed all 3 shots, and then she got to the free throw line, and I think she missed both free throws. She can't shoot.
No.
And she's got a terrible form. I mean, she just doesn't. She and her brother has the same form. I mean, they both kind of shoot. They're both left-handed. They both shoot it weird. But she's a great rebounder, just like Dennis Rodman was.
Yes,
but this comparison between those two is just let it go.
Yeah, I guess that goes against human nature, but it's tiring.
Yeah, like I said, I just try not to pay any attention to it. So, there's our Caitlin segment. Are we eventually ever going to talk about Iowa State football before?
We are, but the first thing I'm going to do, football-wise, I'm going to ask you a question and put you on the spot.
What's that?
There's, 100, maybe 60 some games, Division I football games, right? Okay.
What do you mean 61?
Well, aren't there 120, 132 teams?
Last I checked, there was 131, I think.
Okay, so that's probably 65 some games being played. Okay, how many different networks are showing these games?
Oh God, 17.
Good guess, 18.
Oh, really?
18 different networks.
I just threw that out there. Well, CBS, ABC, NBC, ESPN, ESPN2, Fox,
ESPNU.
I mean, there's half of them right there.
Yeah, ACC,
and
Big
Peacock,
Ten,
Big Ten Network, Mountain West. Yeah, no, it's
crazy.
That's the world we live in. Now, do the Fever play tonight?
They do.
And what channel is it on?
CBS Sports.
Ooh, I don't know if do I get that on YouTube?
I don't know.
It is on YouTube?
Yeah, Tommy gets it, so you will.
Okay, so I'll get it. I'll find it. Oh, it'll actually, with anything with Caitlin now, when I turn it on, if she's on, it comes right up on the top, no matter what channel it's on. It's always Caitlin, the Rockford Files, and the Heat of the Night. And, yeah, those three are usually, if the Fever are on there, right up there with the Rockford Files and in the Heat of the Night. So she's sharing some elite company with Carol O'Connor and James Garner.
Yes, she is.
Think she's heard of either one? I bet she has.
Perhaps.
She's heard of like all in the fan.
James Garner, I would think she. Yeah.
Carol O'Connor, I bet she's that. If I was at a Fever press conference, that would be my first question. Basketball aside, Caitlin, have you ever heard of Carol O'Connor and James Garner?
And Caitlin would say, "Yeah, I'm the only one of the three of us living."
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good answer.
Carol O'Connor, never heard of her.
Carol O'Connor's been dead for 23 years. Yeah, I think he died in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
James Garner died, what was he, about 216 or something?
Yeah.
I mean,
it was probably about eight
he
or
was
9
in his
years.
80s.
Yeah.
And he smoked a lot they showed he was always smoking in the Rockford Files.
Yeah.
Another one of those guys who defied the odds.
I always liked him, though.
As far as, I haven't done my prediction yet. I'll have to go back and look what I predicted to Iowa to win earlier this year. Not much has changed. I still think Iowa's going to win a close game. Of course, turnovers are going to be big. Quarterback play is going to be big. But I just cannot see the Iowa defense allowing Iowa State a bunch of big plays. I mean, I one or two at the most is my prediction, but we'll see.
Well, if they, if they're able to go over the top on us, it's going to make it tough.
And I just don't see that happening. I don't think Beck's going to have enough time to do that, and I just don't think our D-backs with Castro and Quinn Schulte back there, I just don't think they're going to allow that to happen. But who knows? I mean, maybe I'm showing a little biased here, but
well, you do have to play the games.
It's going to be interesting to see if Iowa State can run the ball. If they can't run the ball, they're going to be in trouble. And same with Iowa. I think Iowa's going to. We'll see. Now, if Iowa comes out and it's 31 carries for 79 yards, then last week was more fool's gold.
Or an
aberration. And then you worry about we're back to the same old sputtering, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Iowa State was not able to run the ball effectively last week.
No, they weren't. But they had big plays and in fairness, as much as their defense was on the field, they still didn't allow a touchdown. I mean,
that's true.
To only allow 3 points is pretty good. So both defenses are coming in, I would think, feeling pretty good. But Iowa State's had some losses too. I think that Bacon's out, isn't he?
Bacon is out.
That's a huge loss for them. Significant loss for them. That'd be like Iowa losing Jackson or Higgins.
Yeah.
He's not quite at their level, I don't think, but he's really good.
Maybe
so that's a significant loss.
As far as his value to his
team.
his
team, maybe even. He's just as valuable, and he's really good. So that's a big loss for them, and I think Iowa needs to try to exploit that. I don't know who the backup is. Let me. I've got the notes here.
So Bacon's out, so it'd probably be Sausage. Then would be the backup.
There you go. I'm going to see.
Ham.
I'm going to see what their depth chart.
Jimmy Ham. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know their team. The running back, Abu Sama, quarterback, Rocco Beck.
Who's much improved from the last time they played.
That's about all that I know.
Rocco Beck is a completely different quarterback from the last time they played. He'd only started one game prior to that, and now, like I said, he's developed much quicker than I thought he would after watching him against Iowa last year.
Well, Iowa State's quarterbacks tend to be every bit as good or better than Iowa's, typically.
Yeah, Brock Purdy, you could say that, but Brock Purdy also never played well against Iowa.
He sure didn't.
And he didn't just not play well, he had huge breakdowns.
He did. Threw a lot of interceptions.
One of the guys, Jalen Noel and Jaden Higgins. Noel had he had 8 catches for 135 yards with a long of 54, 1 touchdown. Higgins had 5 catches for 75 with 1 touchdown. They are really good wide receivers, as good as Iowa's going to face this year. Beck was 20 of 26 for 267 yards, 2 touchdowns.
That's pretty
good.
solid.
And then let's see. The running game really didn't. The running game, they only got 86 yards. And Abu Sama, he left the game limping.
Yeah.
So, but it sounds like he's going to play. I'm seeing if they had a depth chart anywhere, but I can't find it on their notes.
So, I don't know much about them. Except that I don't pull for them typically.
I mean, like when they're not playing Iowa, I don't give them a second. Oh, here we go. I don't give them a second thought.
No.
It's not like I go out. Oh God, I hope Iowa State loses today. I don't. That's just stupid.
No, but I also don't sit there and say, God, we got a pull for Iowa State. They're from the same state we are.
Well, no, but I don't think most people do that, do they?
Some.
Weird. Let's see. The depth chart. Samu is listed on the depth chart. And the other one that's going to be a concern is the tight end, Ben Bramer. He's good. 6'7", 250-pound sophomore. And let's see, the offensive line, they've got, 4 guys on the offensive line with starting experience. And they're big. 320, 330, 330, 330, 330. That's their offensive line. They're big. And their defense, let's see, Caleb Bacon, if he doesn't play, Zachary Lovett is the backup behind him. Will McLaughlin's a good linebacker. Bo Frailer's a really good safety. And then Jeremiah Cooper is also a really good safety. And then they got Miles Purchase at cornerback, who's played a lot. J.R. Singleton's played a lot. No, but this is a good Iowa State team. This is a team where if Iowa loses Saturday, it's not a travesty. This is a good team that may come in here and figure out a way to win the game.
Very experienced.
They're very experienced, and Matt Campbell is overdue. He is. I know he won a couple of years ago, but Iowa's had his number. That's one of his blemishes on his resume right now. Is the fact is he just has not figured out a way to beat Kirk Ferentz in Iowa. His teams unravel in the big point. Iowa hasn't beat itself much against Iowa State, whereas Iowa. I mean, Brock Purdy was a turnover waiting to happen when he played against Iowa. And that's just how.
And he almost never played like that against
anyone else. But against Iowa, it seems like the pressure got to him. So we'll see. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if Iowa can win without winning the turnover battle. Because we talked to Don, that's the number one analytic. I mean, the turnover. And, field position I think is pretty big. And Don already, remember, Don kind of shot down the theory about time of possession. That doesn't really mean anything in some ways. It can actually work against you. So
I mean, sometimes it shows that you've controlled the pace of the game, but on the other hand, it doesn't. As Don said, it doesn't always. Because if you have, like Iowa State's first possession, they had, like a 50-yard pass and then a 20-yard pass for a touchdown. So they had the ball for a minute probably.
Yeah, it's just very misleading.
Yeah.
And we were speaking of field hockey since what time is it?
Just about 9:35.
She'll be calling in soon.
I'm worried that there was a breakdown in communication, but I don't have her number. They, like with Hayden Kuhn, they gave me his number, but I'm pretty sure that she's supposed to call in here. But they play Friday against Miami of Ohio, and it's Beach Day. That's the theme for what's the temperature going to be on Friday night at let's see what time.
It's going to be cool.
I mean, isn't it supposed to? Oh, it's 2 p.m. So 2 p.m. it'll be beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
2 p.m. on Friday. Isn't it supposed to get down into the 40s some of these nights?
Yep. Friday night, Saturday night, mid-40s Saturday night.
When I woke up this morning, it was 51.
Mm-hmm.
Friday, a high of 72.
Oh, that'll be perfect.
And what time is the game?
2 o'clock.
Is the match 2 o'clock? Okay, yeah, it'll be real nice.
Yeah, and then they have a week off, and then they're back out for this is good, gold out for the Childhood Center Cancer. That's versus New Hampshire. It's cool when they do stuff like that to help local causes and what have you. So yeah, they're 1-1. They beat Wake Forest and lost to North Carolina. They always go down there and start the season with that. And that was actually in Ann Arbor, Michigan, 2 of the best teams in the country. So
North Carolina scored 2 goals right within 3 minutes of each other, and then Hawkeyes got their goal in the fourth quarter, but they couldn't.
Well, they're a perennial power.
Oh yeah.
Now, is it quarters or at halves?
At quarters.
Oh, I didn't realize they do quarters in field hockey. I thought they did. I know soccer does, like, halves seem to last forever.
Yeah,
they do last forever.
Yeah, there's no set time in them.
Yeah, so
aren't they like 90
minutes, like 45-minute halves?
45-minute halves, yeah, in the clock.
And then the referee can call for extra time if there's like delays and stuff like that. So you never know when the final whistle is going to blow. It's so weird.
It is weird. Yeah.
And then they had that football game the other night, the Boston College, where the clock wasn't working from the very beginning. It's weird watching football.
It is strange to watch
when you can't depend on the clock. I'm
Yeah.
guessing this is.
Hi, KCJJ.
Hi,
Is this JC?
this is C.
All right. Well, welcome. We're really good to talk to you. Go ahead. You got her accomplishments there, Pat?
Well, yeah, JC, I was going to say, first of all, you got Pat Harty, Tom Suter, and Jim Hunter here with KCJJ Radio. And first of all, I was looking at your resume, and, wow, let's talk about academically before field hockey. Very impressive. I mean, with everything that you do, how all the stuff that you've accomplished on and off the field, how important is time management for somebody in your position?
Time management is definitely very important, but thank you so much for acknowledging that. Honestly, without, like, the team's resources, I probably wouldn't be able to do everything that I do. We have tutoring and study hours, so definitely just managing that with practice hours is how you really get it done.
So it says you're the ISAAC Vice President. What does that entail?
Yes. So we call it ISAC. It's the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, and we meet sometimes like monthly, other times bi-monthly, and it's just a bunch of student athletes, and we talk about how to make the student athlete experience better. We hold events. We help out with mental health and physical health, and during finals week, some people participate in like providing snacks for the student athletes and all sort of things like that.
Okay, and then you're also UI Student Government Student Athlete Constituency Representative. What does that entail?
Yes. So I sort of sit in on the student government meetings and then meet with other constituencies, and we kind of just talk about how to make the experience better for our said constituencies. So I bring back a lot of ideas and concerns to ISAC from the student body as a whole, and then vice versa.
That's interesting what you said about resources, because it seems like so many of these sports at Iowa, especially on the women's side, not discriminating against the men, but so many of you are so good in the classroom. But you're quick to point out that Iowa makes it not easy, but they go out of their way to help you guys accomplish this stuff.
Yes, for sure. I mean, like I said, the tutoring, the study hours, the academic advisors, very helpful for all of us athletes.
So, JC, when I have in the past gone to the field hockey games, I am absolutely impressed that it is non-stop action. I mean, you guys work so hard the whole time.
Yeah, we do. Lots of running all around the field, and it's definitely helpful to have each other in each of the defensive, midfield, and forward lines to support each other when one of us is doing some extra hard yards.
I'm curious, have you ever counted or how many steps you guys take during a typical match?
I'm not sure about steps, but I know we have a GPS thing, and sometimes it tracks your mileage. And at the end of games, you know, if you play the full 60 minutes, you run 5 to 6 miles in a game.
Wow. And that's, yeah, I mean, as somebody who walks 5 miles, that's a big difference between running 5 miles.
With a big stick in your...
With a big stick. So obviously conditioning is huge. Is it year-round for field hockey players? Do you guys, you condition year-round? How big is weightlifting? Like, what do you do to stay in shape to compete at this level?
Yeah, so we definitely have sections of the year where we prioritize weightlifting a bit more. So the summer, we get in the weight room a lot more than we would during season. Same thing for the spring. But we're conditioning year-round. As a team, we make a really big commitment to keep our conditioning under control over the summer so that when we do come back for season, we are all ready and on the same page. And then we do a bit throughout the season. Obviously, gameplay is our most form of conditioning. And then in the spring, you focus a lot on conditioning because you're just trying to get everyone on the same level, the same consistency, so that we're ready again for the summer. And then summer's just maintenance. Fall's where you kick it back into gear for gameplay.
How big is diet? I mean, we had Hayden Kuhn, an Iowa cross country runner, on last week, and to the male athletes, it's
anything.
Not he'll eat anything. Is it the same with you guys since you're burning so many calories?
Well, we definitely put a lot of effort into our nutrition as well, and again, resources on the team. We are given some really, really good meals that help us balance our protein intake and our carb intake. But it definitely is super important to refuel after we have such hard conditioning practices or in the weight room, refueling with your protein. I don't know if we can eat just about anything. You definitely need to kind of be more like thinking about what you're eating than just putting anything into your body.
Okay.
So Hayden said, I asked him if he could sit down and knock back a large pepperoni pizza, and he said 100%.
Yeah, I mean, every now and then we have foods like that. They kind of fuel you, and, they taste good, so got to do what you got to do sometimes.
So you're from Pennsylvania. Obviously, they have high school field hockey and club hockey big out there. Are you surprised when you come here that Iowa high school sports, we don't have field hockey out here?
Yeah, it's honestly a real bummer because when I talk to just students in my classes and stuff, they're like, oh, like, what's field hockey? And I have to explain to them that it's like a pretty big sport on the East Coast and especially in Europe, obviously. And they're like, wow, that sounds so cool. Like, I wish we had that. And I'm like, yeah, I know, it's a real bummer. It's just kind of crazy, like a bit of a culture shock, honestly, that they aren't, experienced with that part of sports.
I think it would be a very popular sport here in Iowa. Don't you at the high school level?
When back in the day, many decades ago, when I was in high school, there was a lot of field hockey. I mean, there was some actual teams, quite a few, really.
But yeah, I mean, it's very popular, and I know you have great fan support here. Let's look at you guys are 1-1 right now, and you guys start. It seems like you start every season against Wake Forest in North Carolina.
Yes, it's a tournament called the Big Ten ACC Challenge.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's right away. You're
playing
being
the
tested.
best.
It's playing the best right away. But that's what Iowa field hockey is all about. You want to play the best. You're part of being the best. So after 2 games, I know it's a small sample size. How are you pleased with where? Obviously, you want to be 2-0, but are you pleased with the overall performance of the team?
Yes, absolutely. I think it just made us all super excited for what's to come ahead. There's definitely things to work on from the weekend that we've already been getting into the film room about, but we're all pretty pleased with the weekend. Obviously, to come out 2-0 is what we want. Playing such well-respected opponents, I think we put a really good team out on the field on both Friday and Sunday.
So, JC, what is it that got you interested in field hockey in the first place?
Well, my mom played Division II field hockey at the University of Millersville in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And my sister started playing when she was about in 4th grade, and it kind of just fell into my lap, honestly. And then I started playing with my sister, and from there on, I just kept joining clubs and stuff.
What attracted you to come to Iowa?
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah, what led you to Iowa?
When you're being recruited for field hockey, you kind of just email every single team on the list that you Google. And my sister had come on a visit here, and I heard nothing but great things about it. So I kind of emailed them, and they expressed a bit of interest as well. And I got myself an official visit out here. And honestly, this is a bit of a cliche, but the second I stepped foot onto campus, I knew I had to come here. I just loved everything about it.
Oh, that's great. I'm sure the University of Iowa loves hearing that, too. And, yeah, you're going a long way from home, but your head coach is from Pennsylvania. There's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like, yeah, you're a long way from home, but a big part of your home is here with you. Did that help?
Yeah, it definitely did help. And some of my teammates are from Pennsylvania, Mia Magnotta, Alex Wisniewski, Annika Herbine, and then even some new incomers like Gio Whalen. And I wasn't, friends with them. I'd heard about them through USA Field Hockey and stuff. But when we all came here, we were able to bond a bit about, our heritage from Pennsylvania.
Sure.
And we were all able to kind of just become great friends from that. So it's great to have support from home. And they just understand, we're 14 hours away from home. We can all do this together. So it's super nice.
Got to ask about the weather. I mean, last week it was miserable heat. I mean, it was terrible. Now I think Friday it's going to be in the mid-70s. Does that make a big? That makes a big difference, doesn't it, for you guys? If it's the weather, I mean, nobody likes to be out in 99-degree weather with 70 dew point. I mean, you're catching a huge break weather this week.
Yeah. And the weather definitely makes it hard sometimes, especially when we're running a bit more in practice. But we kind of just take as many water breaks as possible and put in the effort in those little bits of hockey that we do, and then take the breaks while we can, because it definitely can get to you sometimes.
So this Friday, you play Miami, Ohio. It's Beach Day. What does Beach Day mean?
Beach Day.
That's what it says on the schedule. And it says the theme. I mean, you guys have a theme for all your home, but they say in the schedule Beach Day.
I'm going to be so honest. I don't know what that means. I'm going to have to ask about that today.
Okay, it has something. I'm guessing it has something to do with sand and the beach. And what I wanted to go back to academics again. How competitive are you? I mean, obviously you guys are all competitive with what you do on the field, but how competitive are you and your teammates in the classroom? I mean, do you guys try to pick each other up and like, hey, look, is that part of it?
Yeah, we definitely encourage each other to like do well and to do better. We all have like such astonishing like GPAs and work ethics and stuff. It's honestly pretty amazing. But yeah, when we're in classes with each other, you know, we push each other to work harder, and we have a team goal GPA, so we all sort of just understand, you know, being an Iowa field hockey player, there is like a standard and expectation to do well in the classroom, and we all sort of just follow that and live by it.
So I'm curious, do you guys compete against the other teams? Like, hey, the tennis team, look what their GPA is. Do you ever do that? Do you ever use the other team's GPA as motivation?
At the end of the year, we have this award ceremony called the Golden Herkies, and like the team with the highest GPA gets it. So I think we all kind of have that in the back of our minds. And then every now and then they'll be like, oh, like, if so-and-so team can get this, we can do better, and just stuff like that. But it's not necessarily like neck and neck. We all want the student-athletes to do well as a whole.
And it's amazing how many of you guys do well.
It is.
Have you, I mean, given a lot of consideration what you want to do with your degree after your field hockey days, or do you already know, or where are you there?
Yeah, I already know. I already submitted my applications to dental school, so right now I'm kind of just waiting to hear back from that. But I definitely want to go to dental school and do that with my degree.
Well, as somebody who just recently paid about $20,000 for implants, I think you're making a good decision. And I know an Iowa football player, Quinn Schulte, is also wants to go to dental school.
And McKenna Warnock.
And McKenna Warnock just got her. Didn't she just get, what is it?
She got her white coat.
Yes.
What does that mean when she gets her white coat?
Iowa, actually.
So what does that mean to get your white coat?
Basically your first year of dental school, you just have a ceremony where you're white-coated, and it kind of just signifies that you're about to start your 4-year journey in medical or dental school or even pharmacy school, and that, like, it shows that you're dedicated to, like, those 4, 5, 6, however many years of the grad school that there is.
So did you have an idea that maybe you wanted to be a dentist when you came here, or did this all develop once you got to Iowa and saw all the, you know, the opportunities here at Iowa?
So it's actually a hilarious story. I came here the summer after I graduated high school to train with the team.
Okay.
And we were training in the summer, and I got hit in the face by one of my teammates on accident, obviously, with their stick, and lost a few of my teeth, you know, my front teeth, and I got rushed to the College of Dentistry by our trainer, and I spent so many hours that summer in the College of Dentistry. Wow. You know, they were fixing my teeth, doing root canals from the trauma and all that stuff. And I had come to college as a journalism major, and then I had like an epiphany where I was like, wow, I think I want to be a dentist.
Well, I think from a financial standpoint, you're definitely making the right decision as somebody who's been in journalism.
That's a good call.
That is a wild story. But I was going to ask, how often does stuff like that happen with sticks and with the ball? I mean, it can be a dangerous sport at times too if you're not careful, can it?
Yeah. It doesn't really happen super often. Every now and then somebody will get nicked in the face, but it's never really like super serious. I had a very bad track record of it. I broke my jaw in high school from a field hockey stick. Besides that, I mean, I had a teammate on Esme Gibson my sophomore year, I want to say. She got kind of hit in the face. They stitched her back up real quick. So it happens every now and then, but it's never super serious for the most part.
So with you were just amazed at what they were able to do for you, and you saw it and like, wow, this is really impressive. I want to be a part of this someday. Is that kind of how it worked? Okay. No, that's cool. That makes a lot of sense. Then.
No, that's awesome.
So you guys have played the fall sports. You get, like, you start in August when it's super hot, and you play up through November. So you could, end the season playing with snow flurries and the wind whipping. What's hardest for you, the extreme heat or the extreme cold?
I think for me, it's the extreme cold, because when you have a stick in your hand and you have to hit the ball, it really stings when it's cold out. You just have to keep going through that pain over and over again.
It is, because golf is the same way, man. It's like hitting a rock.
Well, anytime you make contact too, it's going to hurt more when it's cold.
Yeah.
So, well, JC, listen, this has been a lot of fun. We're starting to do this now each Wednesday. It's fun getting to know a lot of these student athletes at Iowa, and you are another great representative. Good luck on Friday. Keep up the hard work in the classroom, and be careful out there. Watch those sticks. Oh, we do have one last question that we ask any Iowa student athlete that we get on for the first time. It's not sports related, so remember, we're a radio station. So, Tom, take it away.
Okay, so athletic director Beth picks up her cell phone and calls you and says, JC, I need your help. We need to get some money in here. We need a band, we need an act, or we need an entertainer, anybody who's going to fill up Kinnick Stadium. Who is J.C. Whittle going to get?
Oh, boy. I would say a musician of some sort. I just need a second to think about it.
Okay, take your time.
Yeah, we've got nothing but time.
I'm not a big fan of her, but probably Taylor Swift. Beth wants that good inflow. Taylor Swift is going to be the one to bring it.
That is the answer, and only one other person has answered that in all the years we've asked the question, and it was Beth.
Yeah, it was. It was Beth, yep, from a financial standpoint.
Awesome.
So who are you a big fan of music-wise? Like, who's your go-to listen, if you mind me asking?
I like country music a lot, so the typical Morgan Wallen, but I also like Treaty Oak Revival, who's kind of a less known band. Yeah.
Okay, well,
all
listen.
Kinds of music.
Okay, well, JC, listen, this was a lot of fun. I appreciate it. Good luck with everything, and like I said, continue to represent the university with class like you are. Thanks a lot.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thanks, JC. All right.
That was cool.
That was fun.
She was great.
That was fun. I went to Tommy and said, I bet she picks Taylor Swift, but I thought she would pick. That was an interesting answer. I'm not a big fan of hers, but you're asking me who I think would.
Yeah.
See, that shows you that academic
thoughtful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about
give me a couple seconds to think about
I'll tell you, a lot of them say Morgan Wallen.
Yeah, he's real big.
And Luke Combs is hot right now. We've had some of that.
Yeah.
And what have you. But no, that was interesting. Oh, yeah, Taylor Swift. Could you imagine her playing at Kinnick?
Well, I would.
Would you tailgate?
Absolutely, if I could get tickets.
Sell out in 45 seconds.
It would sell out immediately.
Yeah.
No, she's the answer.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, why don't we take a break? And thanks to JC.
All right.
This is Leah Pesha, and I've been saying, hit a deer, call Premier for years. But it's time for something new. It's still where you need to go for deer divots and door dings, as well as damaged dashboards. That's what my dad Nathan's driving at and dreams about. Why not say, when your car is dinged, be a deer and call Premier? I think Dad's going to love that. Premier Automotive, North Liberty's premier auto body repair shop.
Be a deer and call Premier Auto Body in North Liberty. GT Carr, owner of Supple's Building and Remodeling, has been offering unmatched service and quality for over 25 years. The trained professionals at Supple's Building and Remodeling will install and guarantee the products used in any job, no matter how big or small. They also stand behind their work and offer no-nonsense, exceptional customer service from design to completion and beyond. Whether it's a simple window replacement or a major house addition, you'll have the confidence that Supple's Building and Remodeling is committed to quality. Visit suples.net or call them today at 319-337-2246.
Football fans, this is Bill Leixenring of the Oxyoke Inn. We are on your way to or from the game. We're ready to serve you with the same quality food and customer service you've come to trust for over 80 years. The Oxyoke Inn is serving our famous Sunday brunch buffet with lunch, dinner, banquets, and carry-out daily. From our Oxyoke family to yours, we can't wait to see you again soon in the heart of Amana.
The Oxyoke Inn.
Check out the best source for your Iowa City area high school sports coverage. Go to yourprepsports.com. Hi, this is Pat Harty. City High, West High, Liberty High, Regina, West Branch, Solon, Clear Creek, Amanic. Your Prep Sports has all the boys and girls high school sports you crave. You'll get free, in-depth reporting from dedicated sports journalists on your favorite teams: football, basketball, golf, volleyball, track, softball, and baseball seasons. Profiles, pictures, video, and more. Get in on the action. Go to yourprepsports.com today and spread the word.
Are you tired of living in a home that doesn't quite meet your needs? Then it's time to call the experts at Streets Maintenance. Their team of skilled professionals specializes in renovations and remodeling, transforming your home into the space you've always dreamed of. From kitchen bath remodels to complete home renovations, no job is too big or too small. Streets Maintenance will work with you every step of the way to ensure your vision becomes a reality. So don't wait any longer. Call Streets Maintenance to schedule your consultation at 400-4483. Let's start building your dream home today.
Hanging lights is a pain. Dealing with blown bulbs, dangerous installations, and the endless rat's nest of cords, there's got to be a better way, and now there is. Illuma Lights permanent outdoor lighting from Big Dog Tech. Illuma Lights provides illumination for every occasion. Holiday lighting, accent lights, security, and of course, lighting for the best season, football season. The Illuma Lights app lets you create your own patterns with color, motion, brightness, and static control over every individual light, or use Big Dog's presets to transform your home or business. The professionally installed track system makes Illuma Lights LEDs virtually disappear until you turn them on. Rated at 50,000 hours, you'll enjoy stress-free convenience for years to come. No more ladders, no more hooks, no more wifey's dirty looks. That's the song you'll be singing all year long with Illuma Lights permanent outdoor lighting from Big Dog Tech. Find out more at BigDogTek.net or call 319-395-0800.
Don't wait for an emergency to get a backup for your car keys. Unlike the olden days, car keys have gotten extremely complex. Mike's eKeys for Cars can generate the most technically advanced automotive keys that are on the market today. For spares and lost keys, Mike's eKeys for Cars can produce most conventional transponder, high security, and remote head keys. Mike's eKeys for Cars will keep you on the road. Call 319-330-9185 and schedule an appointment today. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 319-330-9185 today.
Diamond Dream Sports Academy 20,000 square foot indoor facility holds 8 batting cages, space for infield work, space for throwing and pitching and all your arm care needs. Offers private instruction, group lessons, camps and clinics, leagues, memberships. Rentals available at Diamond Dreams is open to the public.
Our top-level instructors include former professional, college, and Olympic athletes. Our coaches will help these athletes achieve their full athletic potential, develop a strong work ethic, and a solid base to build. The last thing you want to do is look back and wish you had worked or played harder.
Locally owned and established in 2005, Diamond Dreams is Eastern Iowa's premier training facility. Located at 2905 Stoner Court, North Liberty. Call today and reserve your time. 319-665-2173. 319-665-2173.
Table to Table Food Rescue works with area grocery stores, restaurants, and food wholesalers to keep wholesome food from going to waste. And we distribute that food to social service agencies who serve the hungry. Help us help our friends and neighbors in need by volunteering your time or making a monetary donation. Call Table to Table at 319-337-3400. That's 319-337-3400. Table to Table Food Rescue. It's the right thing to do.
Don't let just anyone take care of your smile. At Diamond Dental, you can expect compassion, expertise, and a personalized care plan to protect your teeth for life. With more than 30 years of combined experience, Dr. Forbes and his staff are prepared to tackle even your toughest dental problems, leaving your smile healthy and sparkling. Diamond Dental offers a full range of general and cosmetic dentistry, as well as dental treatment options for snoring and sleep apnea. It's never too early to start thinking about what's best for your smile. Schedule an appointment today by calling 319-390-3703 or visiting the office at 5815 Consul Street Northeast, Suite D1 in Cedar Rapids. You can also visit DiamondDentalPC.com for more information. Dr. Forbes is a proud sponsor of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club and the Inner Circle. Let the Diamond Dental team provide superior care for your entire family.
From the Harty and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Harty and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
Meteorologist Brittany Merlot. A high-pressure system holds today, keeping us under sunny skies with summery highs flirting with 80 degrees. We stay clear tonight and fall to the mid-50s with a cold front swinging through tomorrow. This will spark up some scattered showers and maybe a storm by the afternoon. High temps stay warm in the mid-80s before they fall to the low 70s for Friday. That's the forecast on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Right now, it's 62 degrees.
KCJJ weather. Brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
And just like that, we are back.
Just like that.
Just like that.
It's going to be warm tomorrow.
Yeah. Possible thunderstorm late in the afternoon. That's the only chance we got for the next 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
Just going to be sunny during the day and clear at night. I like that.
When's the last time it rained?
Was the last week we got a overnight storm?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
And it's going to get hot again next week, up into the late 80s.
Yeah, the late 80s.
So that'll make my wife happy.
Yeah. But
Not me.
Usually the humidity goes away a little bit after Labor Day, so it's not so oppressive when it gets that hot.
So tonight, the Fever play the Chicago White Sox of the WNBA, the Sparks.
Where are they from? Oh, L.A.?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. They're not doing too well this year.
No, they're not.
Well, didn't they lose the Cam Britt?
Yes.
Obviously, that didn't help.
No, Cam is great.
Yeah, but the White Sox, man, I almost feel sorry for them.
It's just unbelievable.
I mean, they're just bad in every phase of the game.
They showed a clip from last night's game where the guy went out into short left center, and three guys went after it, and they all basically fell
And then they
down.
also, their interim manager, Brady Sizemore, got ejected. He had a right to stand up, though. That umpire was just squeezed. Is that Hunter Wintelstedt? I'm guessing he's Harry Wintelstedt's son.
He is.
Nepotism at its finest.
Yeah.
His strike zone was ridiculous. I mean, they showed 3 pitches. None of them were they were all 5-6 inches off the strike. And he called them strikes, and I think finally Brady Sizemore, and this is ridiculous, and he lost it. And he got thrown out.
So has anyone paid enough attention to know what the White Sox need to do to avoid the worst record in Major League Baseball
didn't
history?
the Mets finish 42 and something, like 42 and 120 or something like that?
Yeah.
And the White Sox, last I looked, were like 130 and 131.
Yeah, they've won 31 and lost 100.
So they got to win at least half of their.
So they got 22 games.
They got to win at least half of them, I think, to avoid the Mets, and they're not going to do that. I don't think they're going to win 40 games.
That's just incredible.
They eclipsed their own worst record of 106 losses back in 1970.
I mean, this is weird too, because the White Sox have been pretty decent.
Yeah.
They've been better than the Cubs. They've been more consistent than the Cubs over the last 20, 30 years. Not even close. But man, this just kind of came out of nowhere. Now, I don't follow it that closely. Maybe there were disturbing signs last year and the year before. I wouldn't know. But man, to be this bad.
Well, Jerry Reinsdorf hired a befuddled and old Tony La Russa to run the team, and
that was not
it didn't help.
No,
this
is not the Tony La Russa that guided them to division titles in Oakland
40 years ago,
and St. Louis and World Series titles. And,
that was a publicity stunt that it seems like it backfired.
Yeah, definitely.
So back to the Hawks.
Back to the Hawks. Okay. Clones, Hawks and clones.
So what time do you start tailgating? 11, 10?
No, we'll probably.
Well, we got a show on Saturday.
We do, since it's not an 11 o'clock game.
Yeah.
So we will probably, let's see.
So you'll be like the first commercial break. You'll be popping one.
I'll bring in some scotch.
Yeah, why not?
We'll pass the bottle around.
Get hammered on the air. There's nothing. That's not against the rules. As long as you don't drive, just get schnockered on the air.
Have Wapsie drive me home.
No, Ann can be your designated driver.
Okay.
And then when she starts drinking, then you have Wapsie, or you ask, maybe Molly will come and drive you home.
So we left home for the 11 o'clock game at a little bit after 8. So that's 3 hours basically before the kickoff. So we will
That's a
leave
long day.
Somewhere between 11:30 and 11:45.
And what time do you get home?
Well, let's see. If it's a 2:30.
Well, like, what time did you get home last Saturday? Game ended at like 2:33. Were you home by like 4?
Yeah.
So it's an 8-hour day.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And then we had a block party that night.
I've been seeing a lot of block parties.
That was a long ass.
So they
day.
block off your street and.
Well, it didn't block it off per se, but we had a band and bouncy house for the kids and
Like right in the cul-de-sac there on
yeah.
the street. Okay.
Yeah.
So who was the band?
What's their name? But it was
Like heavy metal. Some goth heavy metal band. Just
no, they were blues / jazz,
Okay.
and they were real good. Saul Luberoff's in the band.
Was it Shade of Blue?
No.
Yeah, okay, because there's like 40 different.
Yeah, I mean,
or was it this?
I think the guitar player was also with Shade of
Grismore.
No, Saul, I've watched. He's good.
It was not Grismore.
Oh, okay.
So do you ever yell like Freebird or Seeger or anything like that?
I did ask them in jest if they played any Taylor Swift. And
What'd they say?
They enjoyed that. They said, we'll have some for you next year.
Shake It Up? Isn't that a Taylor
Great.
Swift song?
Shake It Off.
Shake It Off? Okay, I was close. No, Shake It Up, that's
Was the
the
Cars.
Cars. That's right, yeah. Actually didn't like either song. That wasn't one of my favorite Cars songs.
No.
And I like the Cars.
I like the Cars all right. All right. I think I have their greatest hits.
Well, they're...
I like
their sound. They had a similarity.
I like Rick Ocasek's solo work. He put out some really good solo albums.
And he produced an album by Hanson. The Mbop
Is that the
guys.
Yeah. We won't.
But it was after.
We won't hold that against him.
No, of course not. But
I'm not going to hold that against Rick Ocasek.
Yeah.
God rest his soul. Hanson's the Mbop, right?
Yeah.
Bebop or
Yeah.
Or what was his name?
They
of that
did
song?
have a cool song later on. That it might have been produced by him. The "I've Been Thinking About Something" is a cool song.
Yeah,
he's got. Have you heard of "Give Me Something to Grab For"? That's a great Rick Ocasek song.
Yeah.
And
that first album of the Cars just kicks ass front to back.
Doesn't he have another song, Emotion in Motion or something like that, too? That's another good. That's kind of a love song from Rick Ocasek.
Yeah.
I remember watching it on MTV, but no, he was good. He's dead, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
So is Benjamin Orr.
Yes.
I mean, half the Cars are dead.
Half the cars are in the junkyard.
It's depressing.
Yes.
They were
Well, a lot of those
not the
guys.
most energetic players on stage.
No.
Did not interact with the audience at all.
And we talked about this the other day. You know, I always thought that I would love to see John Fogerty or CCR. And then we watched a concert of theirs. I think it was from England. Mm-hmm. It was, great band.
From how long
great
ago?
songs, but it was boring.
How long ago was the concert?
I think it was from... I'm not sure. Good question. But 20 years, 30 years ago?
Was it a Fogerty concert?
No, it was a CCR concert.
Oh, okay.
When the band was together.
Okay.
So that had to have been a while ago.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect CCR to be a great stage presence. John Fogerty's not Freddie Mercury.
But the songs, like you said, they have a sameness to them.
They do. And if you hear one song and then you hear something completely different from somebody else, it doesn't stand out. Mm-hmm. But when you hear 12 songs in a row, it's basically the same thing.
I've got their greatest hits album, and much like Van Morrison's greatest hits album, there's not one song on there I don't at least like.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I mean, but as far as watching them perform it, I'd much rather listen than see it, if that makes sense. Where some bands, like with Queen, watching them perform was as crazy as the actual sound and what have you.
No, watching them play was
I'm just glad
a nothing burger.
I'm just glad that John Fogerty's finally getting his financial due.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was screwed for years, just like Badfinger and so many Elvis. So many people in the music industry.
Yeah, the record company finally changed hands, I believe, or the people that are now running the company said, we got to right this wrong.
Yeah, well, good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like how Fogerty came out with Center Field and Old Man Down the Road. He did his own good solo stuff.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's just one of those rock legends that's been around forever. That is.
He got sued for Old Man Down the Road from his own record company.
I know.
Because it sounded like Run Through the Jungle.
Yeah.
They thought
Didn't he write both songs?
Well,
Yes,
it
of
did
course
sound
he did.
like Run Through the Jungle.
And he wrote both songs. Isn't
But
that so bizarre? He's suing himself.
But he didn't have ownership of
I
Run
know.
Through the Jungle, so the people that owned it sued him.
It's ridiculous.
Jeez.
But that's the music industry.
Well, but there is It's a similarity.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
Oh, without question. Yeah. And didn't George Harrison get sued for My Sweet Love? What did it sounded?
He's So Fine by the Chiffons.
Okay.
And he was called guilty of subconscious plagiarism.
So
didn't technically do it on purpose, but it subconsciously it sounds like.
So they're saying he had heard that song so many times on his own that he's just subconsciously sort of.
Yes.
Yeah. Did he end up winning or losing that?
Lost.
How much did it cost him?
Plenty.
I'm sure.
I'm guessing he could afford it.
Yeah. Then he wrote this song as a response.
I always say he's the most overlooked and underrated Beatle, because I think on his own, I think his solo stuff. McCartney had
Early
way
on,
more.
His solo stuff was great.
It was incredible. I mean,
All Things Must Pass was fantastic.
Cracker Box Palace.
Yeah,
I
great.
love that song. And that's one of my favorite George Harrison songs, is Cracker Box. When did that came out? Was that on his? Was that way early 70s, Cracker Box?
It was like 33 1/3, I think, mid-70s.
I think 33 1/3.
God, I don't know what it is about that song, but I always loved it.
His songs are difficult to play. And when they did the concert for George, if you've ever seen the video for that, you know, the guitar players go, these songs are not, he does all these weird key changes and something that you wouldn't expect, you know, and when you listen to his songs, you get that. You figure it out. It's like, yeah, he's right. It's not just a simple ABA or whatever.
And he was a perfectionist.
Yes.
So, I mean, he laid it down.
I remember watching the concert for Bangladesh as a little kid. Late at night. I don't know if it was tape delayed or whatever, but I remember that was like in the early 70s, wasn't it?
Yep, it was the first benefit concert.
And I do remember, I can still picture myself sitting in my buddy's basement watching the concert. I was probably 7 or 8 years old.
I remember buying that album. It was in an orange.
I still have one.
Orange cover.
Yeah, boxed.
And man, it was expensive. I think it was about $30 the time.
There were 3 albums in it, and it had a huge color book in it.
And they were responding to a typhoon, right? Flooding and what have you?
In Bangladesh,
In Bangladesh, okay.
But yeah, it was $30, so that was over 50 years ago.
That's a lot of money now for an album.
And side 1 was unplayable because it was all heavy shaker.
Back to the Hawks?
Sure.
But as far as Saturday's game, what's your prediction? Have you made?
I haven't made one yet, and I don't know. I don't have a feel for the offense yet. I mean, I don't know if that was fool's gold because they were not very
some
good.
of it probably was due to the opponent, but I think some of it too was there's some life on offense.
So I'm not, I can't see us scoring any more than 21 points, really.
I
can't see them scoring more than 10 or
13. A score that keeps popping. I mean, like last year, Iowa won 20-13.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was
very similar.
Cade was 12 of 23 for 121 yards and an interception. He was not very good. And
didn't we have a pick six?
Yeah, Castro's pick six basically was the difference because Iowa's offense was horrible.
I think we're going to see a game much like we saw Saturday. They're going to sputter in the first half and then figure it all out and then pull away.
I don't see that happening.
Because I was following the game on ESPN Storm Tracker when we were in Croatia.
I don't see them pulling away. Hopefully you're right, but I just think that's just the fan you are.
Yeah, I mean, again,
when's the last time Iowa ever pulled away from Iowa State?
None of us have.
Been a while.
They're just educated guesses or uneducated guesses.
No, you guess with your heart, not with your mind.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have the Cubs winning the World Series, don't you?
No. Well, I am not that stupid, but I'm just.
No, if they pulled away from Iowa State and won 40-0, I would be stunned.
Oh, I would too. I'm just saying.
Well, that's what you just said.
No, I didn't. I said they would pull away. I didn't say they were going to
blow
win
40
to 10.
Oh, okay. Well, you said I thought they'd pull away just like we did on Saturday.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't think to that extent. Okay,
so you think it'll be a game similar,
like a 27-10 or something.
So a game similar, it'll play out similarly, a tough first half, and then Iowa pulls away in the second half like they did last week.
Yeah, and I'm like 27-10, something like that.
Even 27-10
that would be very.
That would be very to cover that spread as big as that would be very impressive. Like I said, I'm sticking more to 20-13. And But we'll see. I mean, that's obviously why they play them. Turnovers are going to be big. But no, if they come out and they run the ball again and they win, like Jim said, then we do say, okay, there's something going on here. They're better. I mean, Iowa State's a respectable opponent. That's 2 games now, and that would be encouraging. And then they play Troy the next week, and Troy's going to be better.
Not very good.
They're going to be better than Illinois State, but they're not. That's a game they should win.
For sure.
They should be if they beat Iowa State, they should be 3-0 with a ton of confidence going up to face what I don't think is a very good Minnesota team.
No, they sure. At
right
least
now.
game 1, they
but
sure
you
were.
watch though, Minnesota will play lights out against Iowa. You watch, they will. I mean, it'll be interesting because it has remember when PJ won the game back in 2014? They destroyed Iowa, but then they hadn't won since until the Cooper DeJean controversial punt return.
Oh, yeah.
And that was 12-10.
Yeah.
And no, I do think it was a bad call, but what gets lost in that call is Iowa still had a chance to win that game.
And we all knew we weren't going to.
No, all they had, I mean, they had to drive to, they had almost 2 minutes to get to, and they couldn't do it.
No.
But there's this misconception like that was like the last play of the game, his punt return. No, there was time.
No, it wasn't.
There was time, but no, you were right there. I don't think anybody in that stadium thought they were going to drive to the 30, to the opponent's 30-yard line to give Drew Stevens a chance to win that game.
Nope.
So, but I think the kicking game's going to be big too on Saturday.
Yeah, we don't have our tickets yet. We're gonna. I don't want to go secondary market, but they still have a lot of tickets through the.
You don't have your tickets for what?
Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
We still have, but there's a lot of tickets for sale going to the Minnesota website. So.
Are you definitely going?
Yeah.
Are you going to Michigan State?
No.
But I'm not going to UCLA. That was a decision based on a number of factors, money, of course, but also the starting time, the time. I mean,
Friday night.
Posting a story from LA at like 12:30, 1 in the morning. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, I'm going to post something, but that's one of those where I don't think the amount of money you have to spend to be there is going to have a big enough impact on your coverage. You can still, I think, I'll watch the game. I'll get quotes and everything. I'll still be able to write pretty much the same stuff. But it's Friday at 8, isn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's just a tough time to try to generate any, especially if they lose. I mean, UCLA struggled to beat Hawaii. I think it was 20-13, I think was the final score. And they got a decent quarterback. They've got decent skill players. But I just think right now UCLA is in a really extreme rebuilding, readjusting situation. Now, they did win 8 games last year, so it's not like they were horrible. So, I don't know. I just would be surprised if Iowa loses that game.
That venue has been a chamber of horrors since 1959.
But what's the one difference, though? That venue, when they play there, they're always playing against a really, really good team.
Yeah, that's true.
So this will not be – maybe UCLA will end up being better than I anticipate, but they're not a very good team right now.
No.
So, but yeah.
Well, they struggled against who? Hawaii?
Yeah, it was 20-13, and I don't think Hawaii's very good at all right now.
No.
I mean, Minnesota was the only Big Ten team that lost last week. I mean, 17 of the 18.
17-1.
17-1.
Wow.
And
Minnesota should have won. They just hooked the field goal at the end.
Now, in fairness, they were playing a pretty decent opponent, too.
They were.
Minnesota played a much better team than Iowa played.
Oh, for sure.
So, I mean, that's one thing I think PJ will say to his players. I mean, yeah, and they should have easily, if their kicker would have just made the field goal, they would have won. So then they would have been coming off one of the more impressive opening week victories for a Big Ten team.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, Michigan's offense was not very good. I'm just not convinced Michigan has a good quarterback right now. They do have a very inspirational story at quarterback. What's his name? Davis Walker? He overcame cancer, and I listened to him talk at his press conference talking about, he's like, all this stuff, the games, the big moments. He goes, it really doesn't mean anything when you've been when he's had to overcome cancer. It helps him puts all this other stuff in perspective. Yeah. I think it was his way of saying he can handle the pressure. There's pressure going up against a team, even Ohio State. Then there's pressure trying to beat cancer. I mean, and it was really inspirational hearing him talk. But their offense, that game was 16-10 until Will Johnson. Well, then they got the pick six from Will Johnson down the end. That 30-10 score was kind of misleading. Yeah. It really was. Their offense struggled.
Let's see who else haven't we touched on. Said Michigan State was poor.
I was not impressed with it.
Not at all.
Their quarterback was 18, and he followed Jonathan Smith from Oregon State, I believe, he was not very good. They were not very good.
And Wisconsin, they just don't look at all like Wisconsin.
No, their schedule's brutal.
It is.
And like
brutal.
I said, the Van Dyke, the quarterback, I
was not impressed.
I'm not that impressed with him. I wasn't that impressed.
His last drive was pretty good.
I wasn't that impressed with him when he was at Miami.
No.
And if Miami wanted him enough, they would have come up with money to keep him there.
Yeah.
But no, I was not impressed with Wisconsin at all. Even their defense, to me, doesn't look like it used to be. I don't know, man. Luke Fickell still needs time, but I just wonder if he was the right fit there. I mean, and plus what we're doing, too, is we're comparing everything to Barry Alvarez.
Well, Wisconsin's had a look about him, a similarity for, 2.5 decades?
Well, yeah, the Barry Alvarez effect.
Yeah.
And Barry Alvarez was you could say, a once-in-a-lifetime type coach. He really was in a lot of ways.
And they made their living controlling the line of scrimmage and running the football.
And they could not. They struggled to run the ball. They got that Malusi back. They've got decent running backs. I just was not impressed with their offensive line.
No.
Hello.
Getting back to start times, do you know why that North Carolina-Minnesota game started so late?
I think they were in a weather delay. Weather lightning.
Yep.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, I think they pushed it back an hour and a half, something like that.
I was afraid that was going to be the new normal.
No, let's hope not. No, it was a weather delay.
Horizontal rain.
All right.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Good to know. Okay, thanks.
But it's the lightning that causes the delay.
Yes, right. That's
I mean, I don't know if they'd play through a monsoon, but they'll play through heavy rain.
They
but with
usually
lightning,
will.
if it's within 8.2 miles, I believe is what it is, they can't play. And then it's automatically a 30-minute delay. And some people have said they need to revisit that. I get that, but man, the moment somebody gets struck by lightning under a new policy, then you got lawsuits. I don't think you can be too careful when you're talking about lightning.
And I don't think they'll change that policy.
I don't think they should. I think it's good. I mean, but it seems like now everybody's got a critique for everything,
Yeah.
Well, Iowa's paid their dues with that. When did that game finally end? That one home game was like
Tennessee Tech,
120 or something.
Oh no, the last year was it?
Nevada.
Yeah, Nevada. Was it 2 years ago? I think it was.
That could be.
It was late. It was like after 1 o'clock. Remember the guy brought his dog down?
Yes.
It was so
Security
great.
just left.
I didn't make it through the last delay. I stuck it out through. We left, and then got home, watched a little bit, but it was brutal. Only game we've left early, except when Ann was pregnant with Molly.
Well, and it wasn't a very good game either.
No.
I mean, it was just, as bad as Iowa was offensively, that day, that game never felt like it was in doubt.
No.
And whatever. But, we've been pretty lucky, and it sounds like I said, we got nothing to worry about Saturday. Saturday sounds like weather-wise, you couldn't come up with better
Picture
circumstances.
perfect fall day.
I mean, mid-60s, bright, sunny. It's going to be a great day to where the weather will not be a factor. It's going to come down to what these teams do on the field. And I think running the football, I know I'm a broken record, but I'm more convinced that Iowa's going to have more success running the ball than Iowa State.
Absolutely.
I will be really surprised, even with their veteran line. I know, the key with Abu Sama, too, is don't let him get in space.
Right.
You got to gang tackle him and keep him out, because once he gets in space, he's probably going to win that one-on-one matchup.
Yeah, he's
even
good.
with a guy like Sebastian Castro, if you give Abu Sama a lot of room and space, that's going to make it really hard. Sebastian's one of the best tacklers I've ever seen.
Yeah, he is.
But you don't want to keep testing that fate. I mean, you want to keep him bottled up and don't, because who was the team? Was it against? I can't remember who was it. Remember the game he had last year?
Like almost 300 yards or something?
I think he had over on 8 carries. I was watching him on TV. I'm like, good God, did you see that run? Then he would up it. He'd do a better run. It was incredible. They have to keep him bottled up, and they know that. And that's what they do a really good job, though, Iowa does, of stopping big plays like that. So,
yeah.
But between their two good receivers, their tight end, and Sabu, and back there, 5 really, really good skill players that you could argue. Now, I give Luke Lachey the slight edge over Ben Bramer, but Ben Bramer's really good. He's only a sophomore. In 2 years, he may be Luke Lachey. But they clearly have the edge at receiver. Nothing against Reese Vanderzee.
No,
he's our first Hawk Fanatic athlete of the week. I never thought a true freshman football player would be our first athlete of the year for this calendar.
Wide receiver?
Yeah, wide receiver. But these two guys for Iowa State are really good. They're veterans, and it's going to be an interesting test to watch Iowa's secondary back 7 go against these guys. Now, they need to if they can get some pressure on Rocco Beck, obviously that's going to help. And so, no, I'm like I said, I'm looking forward to the game.
Well, it should be a good one. And, Would I love to see a 40-0 Iowa win?
I would too.
Of course.
Yeah, you get that thing written by the end of the fourth quarter. Well, that would be great.
But yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
And there's some other good games. Do you have the games in front of you? Some of the games this week?
I do.
What are some of the other good matchups?
Texas at Michigan.
Yeah, I'm picking. Sorry, Jamie, but I'm going with Texas.
Rhode Island at Minnesota. The Zips at Rutgers. Michigan State at Maryland. That seems odd, doesn't it?
Yeah, but remember Iowa opened up with Indiana a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
That's going to be an interesting game. If Maryland, if they're going to be anything legitimate, they need to win that game at home.
They do.
Now, Michigan State, if they go out there and win, then you say, well, that opener was just kind of just a tough beginning. Maybe Jonathan Smith is going to make an impact. You don't want to read too much into the game, but that's going to be an interesting matchup.
South Dakota at Wisconsin should be.
I don't know. Is South Dakota, or which one's the really good? Well, they're
South
both.
Dakota State is.
They're both really good, though. Okay.
South Dakota's good.
But that's the game Wisconsin should win that game.
Yeah, absolutely. Kansas at Illinois.
That's the one
Yeah.
What time's that on?
7 p.m.
Good. That's when I'm going to get home. I want to watch that game. That's going to be I just talked to a college buddy of mine. His son just graduated from Illinois, and he's going down to that game with some of his frat brothers, and he's worried. I mean, I believe Kansas is ranked. Kansas is good. Kansas is really good.
Is 19.
Yeah, I mean they're going to be favored in that game, but I believe it's at Illinois, so that'll be an interesting matchup. I look forward to that.
And Iowa's ranked 21. Another really interesting game to me is Colorado at Nebraska.
Oh, that's another. What time's that one?
7:30.
So two good games.
There'll be a bounce.
I may end up writing my second story from the game at home so I can watch that stuff. But yeah, I think Nebraska's going to win that game.
Then you have a 10 p.m. start for Boise State at Oregon.
That's another one that's good. Now, Boise State had a running back who ran for almost 300 yards last week.
Wow.
And Utah State at USC at 11.
Perfect.
That Boise State-Oregon game is going to be fun to watch, too.
Wow.
Hello.
Hola. Did you push the right buttons?
Yes, I did. Hello, are you there?
Are you there? Speak.
I think so.
Okay.
What's going on?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hey, I agree with Hunter. I will buy 14, possibly 17.
Okay.
We'll get down to the casino, place that bet.
Yep.
And make some cash.
I don't do that.
Okay.
Probably why
I don't either.
Probably why you still have money in your pocket.
I think the spread's 2.5 Iowa, isn't it?
It is.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Yes.
So I've got Iowa covering, winning by 7.
Okay.
Nope, we're going to crunch them.
All right, well, good.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks for the call.
I sure hope you're right.
See ya.
There you go.
I think it'll be tight. I think it'll be a tight game. But I do think we'll win. But then if it were at Iowa State, although that hasn't really held up much.
No, because Iowa State has won 3 of the last 5 games at Kinnick,
Yeah.
I think I read. Even though Iowa's dominated the series lately. Remember, they didn't play in 20.
And we've done pretty well at Ames.
Yeah, so the home field advantage really has not been that big of a deal.
This is odd.
I'm thinking I'm probably going to do a Mr. Optimist, Mr. Pessimist, where I'm going to put a twist in. I'm going to do it as Iowa State fans. I'm going to do their version of Mr. Optimist looking at this game. And so I'm going to work on that today.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I'll have that up later.
I will look forward to
I'll
that.
have the Iowa State version of Mr. Optimist, and hopefully the Iowa State fans are just like the Iowa fans and think that it's actual 2 human beings. So then they'll reach out to me and say that Mr. Pessimist is a big dick. But yeah, I've been flirting with that idea. Just trying to do something different.
Well, that's fun. Yeah, I'll look forward to that for sure. But I don't see me watching any game beginning at 11 o'clock.
Not unless you've got insomnia or something.
Yeah, no,
I mean, if it was, I'm not sure. I don't know what to make it. I'm not sure how good Utah State is, but I mean, if I'm still up,
well, that's Spencer Petrus's team.
Oh God, that's right. I'll watch that. That's right. Yeah, that is definitely Spencer's. I didn't even look to see what he did in his first week.
I think he had a pretty good game.
But yeah, no, I'll definitely watch that.
Yeah, that could be interesting. But if I'm up,
I'll be pulling for Spencer.
If I'm up, I'll watch some of it. But after a home game, I probably will be.
You'll be wiped.
Why don't you tape it, and you and Ann can get up and watch it in the morning right after you watch the replay of the Iowa game.
I don't know when we'll watch the replay of the Iowa. Well, today we have to win, or else there will be no replay.
You don't watch the losses
No,
the second time?
no. I don't have to get better. The team watches losses to get better.
Right.
Fix their mistakes. As a fan,
you don't want to go through it again.
No.
Fair enough.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, anything else?
I think we've covered. What is it? It's 10:30.
It is.
Thanks again to. Here it is. 5 years ago, Davis Warren was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia, survival rate of 66%. Saturday, he's the expected starting quarterback for Michigan against Texas. I mean, it's a very inspirational story. It really is. And then underneath that is Oasis one of your top 5 bands of all time? No.
not at all.
Tired of hearing about their return. I don't care. Would they have Wonderwall? Isn't that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Champagne Supernova.
I would have to hear that one, but I was never.
The Champagne Supernova.
And every time they show a photo of them, they're never smiling. They look all pissed off, and I'm just not. I don't care if Oasis reunites.
No, I don't either. All right.
I think we've covered
I
everything.
think again, thanks again to J.C. Whittle from the Iowa field hockey team for
she was
being our
delightful.
guest. She was a lot of fun to talk to. Good luck to the field hockey team against Miami, Ohio. And like I said, we'll continue to have these student athletes on either Monday, most likely more on Wednesdays. And like I said, we've done 2, and I've really enjoyed both interviews.
I have too. So you got some police reports coming up with Mr. Lang?
We do.
All right. Look forward to it. HawkFanatic.com. Check it out. It's free.